Hello everyone, I've come back to Mere Knolls Cemetery because on one of my previous videos I did yesterday I visited the wooden headstone that I wanted to have a look at, and I wanted to find out who it was who was buried there and a little bit more story about the girl called Ann. So I went back and I checked all the stuff I've done over the years, and there's only two wooden headstones that I've come across, and I think the other one's in here as well, but it's somewhere around here as well. So I managed to have a further dig into this one, and as you can see, it is in loving memory of Ann, beloved daughter of... Now, by coincidence, years ago, well, probably 2 years ago, I already had a photo of this when it was a much better quality, but obviously completely forgot about it. And when I looked at the old photo, it's quite obvious who this particular person is. It's beloved daughter of Joseph and Elizabeth Rowell, who died. That bit is completely obliterated now, and it's aged 6 years. She hath gone to the mansion of rest. Now, her parents were Joseph and Elizabeth Rowell. They lived in Hamilton Street, down in Monk Wearmouth. Now, Joseph was a shipwright, which is like a ship's carpenter, so obviously would have been skilled in wood. Now, it has got a stone base, and young Anne, it was 1884 she died. She was born in 1878. Joseph and Elizabeth would have about 9 or 10 children over the next few decades, but Anne was one of the first in the family. So I think this is a really touching piece of history, not just for the family but for Sunderland, because wooden headstones don't tend to last. She was actually buried on the 4th of April in 1884, and this area in the burial records is down as the common ground, so it was unconsecrated. So literally Joseph and Elizabeth were just simply paying to have the child buried here. Now, there's no proof, or I can't say for sure, but I would hazard a guess that this particular headstone was created by Joseph, with him being a carpenter, possibly even from the shipyard, a spare bit of wood. And look at that. And I wouldn't be surprised if it was him who took the time to carve his daughter's name in, and this special little epitaph for his beloved daughter. So if you ever want to come and visit this particular spot, as you can see in the distance, there's the 2 cemetery chapels there, so we're not that far away from this particular section. But Joseph and Elizabeth lived to a decent age, and they died at Dock Street. Now, they have their own headstone in this particular cemetery, which I found online. Now, before I did this video, I went for a walk around because I was hoping that I thought it was going to be close to where we're actually stood, but I can't find it, and I've had a quick skirt around the cemetery. It's a huge place like this, but so online, if you Google Joseph Rowell Mere Knolls Cemetery, it'll probably come up. So Joseph died in 1916, and he was 67 years old. And Elizabeth died in 1920, and she was 67 years old. Now, they must have had a decent life, because the memorial that they had for themselves is quite a fine one. It's a two-piece, well, it looks like it's a three-piece monument with the big block at the bottom with the Rowell engraved, and it's got like gold lettering on it as well. So obviously by that stage of life they were able to afford a memorial for themselves, and one son, Matthew's, also mentioned on it. But there, loving memory of Anne, beloved daughter. So I think that's just a touching little piece of probably one man's work. As you can look around, there isn't a great deal of headstones on this particular, on the common ground, which I mentioned in the other video. Each cemetery had its own rules for if you could put a headstone up after so many years, or if it was offered up for sale again. But probably imagine Joseph and Elizabeth coming up here over the years just to pay their respects to the daughter. And if you just look over there, it's an absolutely gorgeous little spot for a Whitburn in the distance. Quiet, peaceful. A lovely spot. So thank you very much for watching. I just wanted to come back and tell you the story in a bit more detail than I did on the previous video. So that is Ann Rowell, beloved daughter. Thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy that, please give it a like, and if you want to, click on the subscribe button, and I will see you next time.